While Marquette residents are lucky to live where others vacation, sometimes life by the lake is not as leisurely as it seems. Finding affordable housing in the area can be extremely difficult, and the city of Marquette is looking to do something about it. Take a look. We all know Marquette is a hub for UP tourists. The city is full of lakefront restaurants, hotels, and other attractions. But full-time Marquette residents, especially those with low to middle income, say finding reasonably priced housing is no walk in the park.
In a community like Marquette, where you have a university, you have a lot of tourism, gentrification and housing affordability is always going to be a challenge to some extent, but it's really become a crisis in the last several years.
Part of it's pricing, part of it's supply, but part of it, we're getting fairly close to being landlocked as far as usable land that we have.
I live firsthand the struggle that people have finding housing that is obtainable for them in their price range and in the desired areas that they are looking.
To combat the issues of housing affordability and availability, the City of Marquette formed the Hoc Housing Committee. They spent the past 18 months researching and discussing how to begin solving these issues. They published a report of their findings and policy recommendations in June.
Housing certainly affects all Marquette residents, and when we're talking about housing affordability, we're not only talking about low-income city residents who are struggling to find housing that they can afford, but we're also talking about middle-income, everyday city of Marquette residents. The city of Marquette decided to start addressing this issue. Housing affordability has certainly been an issue in Marquette for quite a few years now. But it's really only in the last 2 or 3 years that it's become an issue that's being addressed in a really serious and direct way at the city level.
I think there are things that we identified that will maybe generate more discussion in certain areas, but it wouldn't surprise me is if every few years there's going to be another one addressing maybe some of the progress that's been made.
The issues are complex and won't be solved overnight, but Bonsall says the middle housing market, or the lack of one, should be a priority in planning the city's goals. If city officials want to create real change, they should partner with state and local organizations.
The problem has become much more severe in the last few years, and it's really something that can't be ignored any longer.
One of the things that we've found is nationwide, in the last 20 years, housing starts are down 50% compared to each of the 20 years before that. So that housing inventory that hasn't increased like it has all the years before it is one of the big keys to why it's been hard for people to find homes. I've been selling real estate for 27 years, and I'm friends with realtors who've been selling real estate a lot longer than me, and we've never seen our industry with a frustration level the way it is now.
Affordable housing really is an economic development engine. It's going to bring people here to work. It's going to get some good paying jobs. And if they come for good paying jobs, then can they afford a house?
Jones says while the city plays an important part, residents may also need to reevaluate their housing decisions.
The empty nester or the person with a large home can move into those homes and opening up a starter home or a mid-level home for people to move up in their home journey.
To read the full report and view the committee's housing recommendations, visit marquettemi.gov.
It's a lot more complex, I think, than what people thought there was.
We think that if in the next couple of years the city is able to implement the recommendations that we've presented to the City Commission, it'll make a really huge difference and help make sure Marquette remains a place where people of all incomes can afford to call home.